we've been working on a project called the Sterling Brown Project, and we've been setting music to the poems of Sterling A. Brown. If you guys don't know Sterling A. Brown, he is an incredible African-American poet. I'm not going to go into his bio because I haven't got enough time for that, but you should check him out. The thing about Sterling is that many of the poems that we're about to do were written, in the 20s and 30s, and a lot of them resonate today. They could be written yesterday, right? But we're not going to go into all of it. We're going to only pick a few of those. This one is not as political, but also kind of a Black Lives Matter thing, because it's about a working guy named Mose who likes to sing. Mose is black and evil and damns his luck, driving Mr. Swartz's big coal truck. He's got no gal, he's got no jack, no fancy silk shirts for his back. But summer evenings, hard luck Mose goes in for all the fun he knows. On the corner curb with a sad quartet, his tenor peals like a clarinet. Oh, hit it, Mose, sing that thing. But Moses' mind goes wandering. And to the stars over the town floats from a good man way, way down. A soft song filled with a misery older than Mose will ever be. Want to do Twilight? Sure. Okay. This is one of mine, and it was written for. Oh God, this is the horrible thing about this, Trayvon Martin, and the reason my mind went blank for a second was because there's so many, right? Right. Right. Which one is it, right? And this is for Trayvon Martin. And after he was murdered, I was in New York at a reading. I wasn't doing the reading, but there's a lot of poets there, and the poets were all reading either something about Trayvon or something that was, in the style of, something that someone had just been, killed. And as the reading started, like right now, the sun was going down, and twilight was coming up, and in Bryant Park, where the reading was being held, the mercury lamps in the park slowly turn on, and they look to me like fireflies. So, song is called "Twilight is the Hour." Twilight is the hour of the motherless child. Twilight is the hour of the motherless child. Another man gone down that lonesome mile. Twilight is the hour. The lamps in Bryant Park glow like fireflies. To windy floats under the tree. A group of poets sing the blues to fill in the space where you ought to be. Twilight is the hour of the motherless child. Twilight is the hour of the motherless child. Another man gone down that lonesome mile. Twilight is the hour. There's a tongue we used to let things go. There are songs that we shake at danger. There's a way to wash a body down, even if he's a stranger. Twilight is the hour of the motherless child. Twilight is the hour of the motherless child. Another man gone down that lonesome mile. Twilight is the hour. There's the words that we use to follow us, a prayer to unjumble the mad universe. The poets breathe Trayvon into the wind. It could happen to you like it happened to him. Twilight is the hour of the motherless child. Twilight is the hour of the motherless child. Another man gone down that lonesome mile. Twilight is the hour. Twilight is the hour. And the story for this one, you guys know that you guys remember this thing that happened last year, I think it was, where there was some African American ladies on a train. Remember that story? Yeah. African American ladies on a train, and they were making some. They were being happy, right? They were having fun. It was black while having fun, right? You know, and they got kicked off the train because they were making too much trouble, right? They got kicked off the train, and they sued. And I just found out they won. They settled out of court for $11 million. Now they can buy a train. You know, and the thing about this is that we thought this was really like outrageous, and then we found this poem by Sterling Brown, right, which is really about not being allowed to laugh out loud in Atlanta. It's called Slim in Atlanta. Down in Atlanta, the white folks got laws for to keep all the niggas from laughing outdoors. Hope to God I may die if I ain't speaking the truth. Make the niggas do their laughing in a telephone booth. Slim, yeah, hit the town, and the ribs got him too. Don't you laugh on the street if you want to die old. Then they showed him the booth and 100 shines. In front of it, waiting in double lines. Slim thought his sides would burst into. Yeah, look out, everybody, I'm coming through. Pull the other man out and bust in the box and laugh for 4 hours by the Georgia clocks. Then he peeked through the door, and what did he see? 300 niggas there in misery. Some holding the sides, some holding the jowls to keep from breaking the Georgia law. And Slim gave a holler and started again. And from 300 throats come a groan of pain. And every time Slim saw what was outside, got to whooping again until he nearly died. And while the poor critters was waiting the chance, Slim laughed till they sent for the ambulance. The state paid the railroad to take him away. Then things was as usual in Atlanta, GA. I got this ache in my heart. The state of Texas is my host. I got this hole in my soul. The state of Texas made me a ghost, and my ghost howls. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, Now I'm a wandering spirit. My body swings in my cell. When they cut this poor gal down, who will know how I got here in my ghost house? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Maybe I died by my own hand. Maybe I died by hands unknown. Maybe I was dead the moment I talked back. Maybe I was dead before I was born in my ghost house. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Damn the cop who damned my black skin. Damn the judge who agreed with him. My name's Sandra Bland. I should be alive. Sat back in Texas, you commit suicide in my girl's house. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Thank you.
My name is Monica Hand. I am a black poet who will not remain silent while this nation murders black people. I have a right to be angry. Resistance. No rest until the last Pullman porter leaves the train. Until we are near Miriam, Odetta, Lorraine told me, Nina, be certain. Take a stance. Don't just sit. Hold them in a trance. Sear. No pusher man. No segregation. Art. My weapon. My voice. My song. Arsenic. Don't expect me to be nice. Let me say that again. Don't expect me to be nice. And those of you who know me know that's the truth. I will make a scene, stir it up, upset carts. You cannot erase me or my race.
My name is Sequoia Moore. I am a black poet who will not remain silent while this nation murders black people. I have a right to be angry. The undoing of black women. I have scrubbed off my skin for you, wrung my hands until they wept, poured bleach into my pores as my eyes mapped the trickling path of black streams. For you, I have come undone. I have sown your foreign crops in my fields, plucking my kinky seedlings from their roots along the way, ignoring the screams of barren soil, begging for relief from occupation. For you, I have come undone. I have dug hollows into the grounds that are my body, stabbed in shovels until all that was left was white and waxen and clean. For you, I have come undone. You laid gravestones in my womb, sucking life from the seeds I have yet to bear, condemning those that have grown to a life that is rooted in their death, and I let you because you told me that it brought you peace. You carved out language from my throat, made me forget its taste, training my tongue to salivate at your name, and I let you because you told me that it showed you my faith. I have unraveled my race to appease a mother that will never love me. For you, America, I have come undone.
My name is Aliki Barnstone. I read this poem in solidarity with Black Poets Speak Out. I will not remain silent while this nation murders Black people. I have a right to be angry. The poem I'm going to read is Gwendolyn Brooks's The Chicago Defender Sends a Man to Little Rock, Fall 1957. In Little Rock, the people bear babes and comb and part their hair and watch the want ads, put repair to roof and latch. While wheat toast burns, a woman waters multi-ferns. Time upholds or overturns the many tight and small concerns. In Little Rock, the people sing Sunday hymns like anything, through Sunday pomp and polishing. And after Testament and tunes, some soften Sunday afternoons with lemon tea and Lorna Doones. I forecast, and I believe, come Christmas, Little Rock will cleave to Christmas tree and trifle, weave from laugh and tinsel, texture fast. In Little Rock is baseball, barcarolle, that hotness in July, the uniformed figures raw and implacable and not intellectual, batting the hotness or clawing the suffering dust. The open-air concert on the special twilight green, while Beethoven is brutal or whispers to ladylike air. Blanket sitters are solemn as Johann troubles to lean to tell them what to mean. There is love, too, in Little Rock, soft women softly opening themselves in kindness, or pitying one's blindness, awaiting one's pleasure in azure glory with anguished rose at the root. To wash away old semi-discomfitures, they reteach purple and unsullen blue. The wispy soils go, and uncertain half-havings they have clarified to shores. In Little Rock, they know not answering the telephone is a way of rejecting life. That is our business, to be bothered. Is our business to cherish bores or boredom, be polite to lies and love and many-faceted fuzziness. I scratch my head, massage the hate I had. I blink across my prim and penciled pad. The saga I was sent for is not down, because there's a puzzle in this town. The biggest news I do not dare telegraph to the editor's chair. They are like people everywhere. The angry editor would reply in 100 harryings of why. And true, they are hurling spittle, rock, garbage, and fruit in Little Rock. And I saw coiling storm writhe on bright Madonnas, and a scythe of men harassing brownish girls. The bows and barrettes in the curls and braids declined away from joy. I saw a bleeding brownish boy, that lariat lynch wish I deplored. The loveliest lynchee was our Lord.
My name is Tiana Williams. I am a black poet who will not remain silent while this nation murders black people. I have a right to be angry. Tonight, I'm going to read A Litany for Survival by Audre Lorde. For those of us who live at the shoreline, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone. For those of us who cannot indulge the passing dreams of choice, who love in doorways coming and going in the hours between dawns, looking inward and outward at once, before and after, seeking a now that can breed futures, like bread in our children's mouths, so their dreams will not reflect the death of ours. For those of us who were imprinted with fear, like a faint line in the center of our foreheads, learning to be afraid with our mother's milk, for by this weapon, this illusion of some safety to be found, the heavy-footed hoped to silence us. For all of us, this instant and this triumph, we were never meant to survive. And when the sun rises, we are afraid it might not remain. When the sun sets, we are afraid it might not rise in the morning. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. When our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we may never eat again. When we are loved, we are afraid love will vanish. When we are alone, we are afraid love will never return. And when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we were never meant to survive. Thank you.
My name is Mark McKee. I read this poem in solidarity with Black Poets Speak Out. I will not remain silent while this nation murders black people. I have a right to be angry. This poem is a photograph taken in Duluth by Sean Hill. My grandmother says, "Beg pardon," when she hasn't heard what you've said or is certain you can't have meant what she heard, like, "I think the moon must have squinted at the dim light of that gas lamppost and the 3 men that hung from it." What I mean is 3 men, black, in town with a circus, accused of the usual lynch law crime, were chosen from 6 and dragged from jail one by men who'd formed a mob, propped up by thousands of bystanders who didn't join in with the hoisting of these black men up the lamppost for allegedly violating a white woman, of course, but registered approval with fists and feet while they made way for the black men or didn't stop the hand or foot of the woman or man next to them, so 3 beaten bodies violently shook, shuddered, sputtered blood on those close by, and came to rest. My grandmother says, "Hush," when she's heard what you've said and doesn't want to believe it. But I have a photograph, proof of what happened in Duluth. For that, I must say, thank you kindly, that's how my grandmother always says it, to a photographer from just across the bay in Superior, Wisconsin, on hand with the thousands of other souls crowding downtown Duluth that June evening. I know he didn't take it from me. My grandmother says, "Have mercy," when she's heard a burdensome truth, such as the photograph was soon made into a postcard that sold quite well and local retail outlets as a memento. My grandmother didn't know these men. She wasn't born yet, but doesn't need to be shown this photograph to know the crowd of white faces staring into the searchlight. Some lean forward and stretch their necks to make certain they're in the picture. One smiles while Elias Clayton's body lies face down at his feet, hung so high they had to cut him down to be in the shot. And Isaac McGee and Elmer Jackson hang with their necks stretched, heads lolled to the side, faces turned as if they should be the ones bearing the shame or regret. This photo isn't necessary for my grandmother to know that this happened and can still happen. And that's why my grandmother sighs and says, hush.
My name is Jennifer McCauley. I am a black poet who will not remain silent while this nation murders black people. I have a right to be angry. This piece is called From the Ghost of Dead Boy Street. You don't know me. I've been ghosting here longer than your history remembers. My blood is patterned on the soil underneath your unswept cement. You don't know that. Nah, you treat my body like it's devil black, like it's soft to time. You've never seen my body as it is, bountiful, blazing, bronzed by God. I'll tell you what my body ain't. My body ain't a thing to be tucked, blue and swollen under a scramble of snow. My body ain't a thing to be found. Nobody should have to see my little boy picture on the midday news. Nobody should have to remember whether I liked double mint or bazooka, whether I chewed on cigarette tips or wore my jeans with a leather belt. My body is not a thing to be tossed or treated. It's a thing made to squeeze a mama waist, or to snatch up tamarindo, or to just run out running, alive. I'll tell you this, you cannot stuff this life in a house. You cannot manacle this life or hurl it into a little shadowed room. My spirit is steaming up through sidewalk cracks and hay grass, through the high roofs of corner markets. Before you came for me, you should have known this too. If you take this body, this spirit ain't gonna float up to God and forget you. No, my spirit is huffing, it's puffing, it's hurting your glass, it's sleeping sweet in your daughter's bed. See, it's breathing. This is a warning. This dead boy spirit can breathe, breathe, breathe.
My name is Gabriel Cole. I am a black poet who will not remain silent while this nation murders black people, and I have the right to be angry. This piece is titled America with 3 Ks. Somebody tell me what the fuck is a United States? The only time we'll be united is when we're at those black gates, because it's fate. Yes, it's fact. This country is destined to burn, won't stand for justice, but for some money, we'll stand firm. See, fuck the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd rather pledge to myself, praying to an American God and wondering why we're getting no help. They trying to burn up the country like every book on the shelf. Fuck Columbus. I want to study African wealth. The only thing against the people is what we call the system, looking to rich white men for some guidance and wisdom. See, it's those rich white men who said fuck Trayvon Martin, who throw those white sheets on, start burning crosses and marching, whose great-grandpas were in Alabama selling niggas for bargain, who went to African tribes stealing people, committing arson. See, blacks, they were born with invisible targets on their chest, and whites, they were born with arrows. Tell these young men struggling in distress that they used to be kings and pharaohs. See, this country is sick. It pumps hate and sneezes greed. Take black paint to the flag and write, I can't breathe. This country was conceived by the deflowering of Mother Nature. We belittle this earth when she is truly our savior. Pollution. Another penitentiary institution. Have we forgot that we the people are the first 3 words in the Constitution? They teach us half-truth in school, throw diseases in our food, tell us lies on the news, let us starve while the 1% is somewhere taking a cruise. Take our jobs. take our jobs and look down on us if we're on welfare. We have billionaires and yet the people still can't get free health care. All these distractions are only a fraction of the hidden agendas, and when you're aware, they try to call you crazy and then chop off your antennas, keeping secrets. You know there's a cure for every disease, keeping money. How we so rich but people still living on the streets? No liberty, justice for all is non-existent. They program our minds and try to control us with religion, then try to scare us with a hoax like 9/11. Then they have you in church praying to a rapist reverend. It's the strongest people they attempt to keep in oppression, trying to take our guns so when it's time we'll have no weapons. And then we celebrate things like Thanksgiving. If that day wouldn't have never happened, Native Americans would still be living. America's nightmare was Martin Luther's dream, so when blacks started waking up, they made us coke fiends. Feed us stereotypes on the television programs, but starve us from the truth. Snatch substance from our soul and misguide our youth. Another day, another dollar on another death. Living in a world where our lives are valued by how many zeros are on our check. Today is racism, but tomorrow, what's next? Every aspect of this country is lined with bad spirits looking to the rich white soul, and you can almost hear it. Take our minds and throw them in boxes they don't want us to know. Feed us food that's killing us off. See, they don't want us to grow. Slavery is in the world today. It is more than just our shadows. American lives are so disposable. To them, our value is like cattle. See, one nation under God, you mean one nation under lies. Try to fill us up with hope and change, man, that shit is a facade. Corporate America pimps us like naive whores, does dirty work in our faces, spreading their disgusting ways over shores. And they know nothing about unity, equality, our dreams. They know pain, cruelty, and blood-filled streams. They only know the only difference now is that we are all hanging from the same noose. The people have to fight back because with a country like this, there will never be a truce. Corrupt our physical, mental, and break our emotions. Feed us lies, propaganda, and self-destructing potions. Sell us false hopes, and sadly we've been selling false hopes, and sadly we've been buying. The Statue of Liberty is to be the image of a black woman crying because that's real. What's fake is this red, white, and blue. Or I give a fuck about a nation that don't give a fuck about you. America, America, God, keep this hate from me. And I vow to myself because I know my wealth. One day from this sick nation I'll flee because being free will only happen when we understand that this will never be home. America will kick you out, leave you stranded and forever alone. Dollar signs mean more than life. Since we send our sons to go and fight, it was that white beast who stole humanity's soul. That cold winter night, turn on the news and you'll see it crystal clear. They want to hold us back and they want to instill fear. Name the country that was built on the destruction of another. Name the country where the citizens aren't sisters and brothers. Name the country that'll help those abroad before it helps its own people. Name the country corrupt, built off lies and evil. America, America,
I am a black poet who will not remain silent while this nation murders black people. I have a right to be angry. I'll be reading from my new book. This is why I haven't written a Trayvon Martin poem yet. I want to cry, I want to feel, I want to drop to my knees, I want to ask why, I want to scream, God, what does this mean? I want to conjure a spell of wicked death. But I don't. I don't speak about it at all. I don't mention it at the office staff meeting I lead. It is not just a line across the screen. It is the must I smell in the bathroom. It's the track basketball and cross-country shoes. It's the empty refrigerator, my disappeared leftovers. Mama, I love you. I see you got some cute shoes. It's the muscles that jump flights of steps in 2 seconds. It's the fluid that crusts the towels, the apps, the games, the summer reads that haven't been cracked yet in late July. It's the scholarships, the medals, the trophies, the accolades, the promise. Have you ever seen a mother cry? A woman refuse to view the casteted body of her only son? I have. And it's not just a march on the street. It's silence and lonesome clearing of the bedroom. It's distributing memories or refusing to let go. It's lying in their bed, inhaling the fading smell on their sheets. It's the baby you carried now below your feet. I don't want to fucking talk about it. It's not a headline, it's a nightmare. It's a possibility. It's a heart skips a beat, midnight phone call that only ends up being a butt dial, yet you never make it back to sleep. Have you ever had to grieve in public? I just don't want to talk about it. I don't have anything polite to say, and I'm not being selfish or apathetic. I'm just trying not to live in fear. Have you ever set your baby down to say, they will look at you like a threat? Be polite. Don't put your head down. Look them in the face, but don't curse. Don't cry. Don't resist if they take you down. And do what they say, no matter what, no matter what. No sudden moves. Don't be scared. Don't panic. Don't run, but know when to run. Follow your gut. Get out of your ego. You got that, son? You got that, son? You got that, son? It's about coming home alive. They may beat you, but you just gotta take it. Let the law handle it. Okay, let God handle it. You are still at risk, even with them white boys. Now, go have fun. You know, he would never even hurt the spoiled white boy who spit on his earphones at camp. You know he believes in nonviolence and still runs from flies and feels powerful when he flows those 16 bars in his favorite song. Everything feels like jail and death and pain and black and yuck. And you want to know what I think? You know, I have a son and a nephew, right? Have you ever held a tender face in your black hands? Have you watched a home video at ages 5 and 10 pick out school clothes, gold braces, and contacts? Have you ever watched all the awkward leave and so lean and so fine and so funny and so smart? Have you ever seen the magic of a boy to a man before your very eyes? This body called son tries to lift you to see how strong he is today. Have you? Have you felt your feet dangle more and more with each attempt? Have you ever felt that? All boys want to lift their mothers, want to show their strength. Nazir wants to play piano, and why not? I want him to have fun, and so sometimes, most times, I don't even want to talk about it. I live it, you sweet liberals. This life of double consciousness, you think I'm silent? No. There are always words and flinches in my head. My son has never walked to the corner store. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a boy who never gets to ride his bike because it could turn into so many things, because I already know, and sometimes we slip. Just think it's just to the store, or just one party, or just one movie, just one. Let him be a kid, Tasha, a boy, and then you are fighting back tears on TV. Living the stereotype of your unshakable grace and strength. They never see you are shell-shocked. Don't ask me about it over a coffee machine, a water cooler before the meeting, like, what did you guys do this weekend? Like it was some awards show, dancing and singing vote-offs, like my favorite group didn't win a botched award, like Tiger lost, like the video with the raccoon toss. I just don't want to talk about it. Words in exchange for an aching womb. Do you know you can feel it in your womb when you look into the eyes of a woman who has lost her child? It just doesn't add up like evidence in law and acquittal, murderous smiles, the idea of winning when your son is buried, covered in stone, final angelic Jesus black boy selfie. I don't want to fucking talk about it. It's more than a headline, a t-shirt, replayed 911 calls. So much more than your social pornography. It's their son. It's her baby. My silence is paralysis, survivor's guilt, and homage to her pain. Thank you.
I have a right to be angry. This is On Disappearing by Major Jackson. I have not disappeared. The boulevard is full of my steps. The sky is full of my thinking. An archbishop prays for my soul, even though we met only once. And even then, he was busy waving at a congregation. The ticking clocks in Vermont sway back and forth as though sweeping up my eyes, my tattoos, and my metaphors, and what comes up are the great paragraphs of dust, which also carry motes of my existence. I have not disappeared. My wife quivers inside a kiss. My pulse was given to her many times in many countries. The chunks of bread we dip in olive oil is communion with our ancestors, who also have not disappeared. Their delicate songs I wear on my eyelids. Their smiles have given me freedom, which is a crater I keep falling in. When I bite into the two halves of an orange whose cross-section resembles my lungs, a delta of juices bursts down my chin and like magic makes me appear to those who think I've disappeared. It's too bad war makes people disappear like chess pieces, and that prisons turn prisoners into movie endings. When I fade into the mountains on a forest trail, I still have not disappeared, even though its green facade turns my arms and legs into branches of oak. It is then I belong to a southerly wind, which by now you have mistaken as me nodding back and forth like a Hassid in prayer, or a mother who has just lost her son to gunfire in Detroit. I have not disappeared. In my children, I see my bulging face pressing further into the mysteries. In a library in Tucson, on a plain above Buenos Aires, on a field where nearby burns a controlled fire, I am held by a professor, a general, and a photographer. One burns a finely wrapped cigar, then sniffs the scented pages of my books, scouring for the bitter smell of control. I hold him in my mind like a chalice. I have not disappeared. I swish the amber hue of lager on my tongue and ponder the drilling rigs in the Gulf of Alaska and all the oil-painted plovers. When we talk about limits, we disappear. In Jasper, Texas, you can disappear on a strip of gravel. I am a life in sacred language. Termites toil over a grave, and my mind is a ravine of yesterdays. At a glance from across the room, I wear September on my face, which is eternal and does not disappear, even if you close your eyes once and for all, simultaneously, like two coffins.
Good evening. My name is Brian Goins II. I'm a black poet who will not remain silent while this nation murders black people. I have a right to be angry. My people, we are not a force to be reckoned with. We are an army of Davids facing the giants. We are the tossing the first stone. We shall not be moved. We are the stars. You may not always see us, but we are always there. In your darkest hours, we will shine the brightest. We are fueled by flames internally for eternity as to outlast the small minds that dare try and define we. We are self-sufficient. You will be gone and forgotten. We will be a legacy. We are the hope that you wish on, the change you depend on, and all seasons move because of we. Almost humorous. How you try and understand things only the God who created us can comprehend, just know we'll never need you. We are a proud people. You are nothing but a convenience at best. You try to take us from our natural realm, try to mold us to your ways, bend our wills to your own, break us. Over 400 years enslaved us, but creation, you cannot move us, for you aren't divine. For we have been instilled with the power of thee, deity, having created our own culture in which you poorly try to imitate, but we can flawlessly manipulate your own. Appropriation, a bitch, ain't it? The very thought of us is terrifying. You try to make us to serve you, but you were built to serve us. The sons and daughters of your people bow at our feet. We are kings and queens, so your children worship us. Love everything about our culture except us. Appropriation, a bitch, ain't it? Your ancestors envied us, for we can be born wherever, and the natives will eventually be under our feet, appearing as underdogs, but we have the power of the culture which created we, black power. We are the nation, whichever one you please, because you are nothing but an atom, so even as slaves we will appear mighty, we are. Stronger than your pathetic armies, we are. Darker than your most beautiful nightmare, we are. Established, empowered by black queens which preceded us, who have paved the way for our voice to boom alongside them, we are. Sons and daughters of marginalized people who wane from bloodlines of royalty, and the furthest thing from insignificance in all minds, we are. The very seed of humankind. We are black. We are black. We are black. We are not a force to be reckoned with. We are an army of Davids tossing the first stone. We shall not be moved.
My name is Tiana Williams.
My name is John A. Pratt, and I am a black poet who will not remain silent while this nation murders black people. I have a right to be angry.
This is a poem about how we're here to stay. This is a siren. Proclaim the power in your voice today.
When they tried to quiet us, tried to thin line thread our lips together so we could not speak, what did we do?
Clash cymbals, shrill sopranos,
Feed the fire in the back of our throats. You cannot soothe a burning tongue with dirty water. Tried to poison our babies.
cannot ignore war cries blaring through boom boxes.
Try to mute us. I know you hear us coming. Black civilians, raw and unrehearsed.
Who these people making all that noise?
Black civilians, raw and unrehearsed. Lethal by birthright. Children of the war no longer let their lungs fill with smoke. Store bombs on the tips of their tongues, ready to drop if they ever cross that line. We lethal by birthright.
Standing on the sun-charged shoulders of warriors before us.
We were born excellent. We gon' die excellent. I know you hear us coming. Army of soldiers, words be our weapon. Loud as we want, our war cries will deafen. Belt out the cadence, drown out the pain. Trails we've been blazing, work not in vain. We lethal by birthright. Born into the revolution, we inherited this fight. I know a woman, black and glorious, black and godly, black and excellent. She's from a lineage of love in its rawest form.
I know a man,
Black and glorious, black and godly, black and excellent.
he from a lineage of love in its rawest form.
We from a lineage of love in its rawest form. We are the soundtrack of the revolution. We the clashing cymbals, the shrilling sopranos, the instruments and the instrumentals, the hip hop, the jazz, the war cries blaring through boom boxes. We were born excellent. We gon' die excellent. I know you hear us coming.
I'm striving to be the perfect people person by beating the perfect person image purple till black and blue. Not hiding behind a facade to fill voids and feel I matter to you. What's the matter with you? That's a matter for you to deal with. Society comes ill will equipped to strip, rip, drill, bit, tip you to you lose all wit, trip, flips get so fit. No, you won't flip me lid bent. Any form I will take liquid. This be something different. So get out the program, scream, get loud, go ham. If it calls beef, then stand up behind what you believe, cause all chickens shall be slaughtered. Don't let masses deceive. This is a war on character. Sisters, brothers, sons, daughters, moms, dads. Any relative is relative. Every human gonna get it. Can't escape the judgment, even with a cape, regardless of class, budget. No one's safe, so show your true colors safe. Face be headstrong, have faith, cause you about to face it head on, face first. So there'll be no saving it. Express yourself, I know you craving it. Write your name in it from the inside out. Don't absorb the BS from the outside in and let the outside in, so I'm out the box. Any shape, it don't matter. Slicing in the opposition, sliding, slithering sideways to change my position. You can't stop creativity, that's a dead mission. Nick Danger.
I'm a black poet who will not remain silent while this country continues to murder my people. I have a right to be angry. The title of this poem is called Fearless. Yesterday I realized I was no longer afraid of the cops. Red and blue lights transform infrared lasers targeted on my black. Congratulations, you hit genocide. Tell me, what is black power when it's killed by blue? I bet the thought of that tastes like Skittles and iced tea, huh, officer, overseer. I mean, Lucifer crucified my brothers. Newsflash, newscast reporting live on Christmas Eve. Another nigga's been shot unjustly in the street, but oh, he was struggling anyway. I heard my brother's blood screaming as it moved down the pavement. It cried out to me, hands up, don't shoot. But it seems like men in uniform only trigger happy adrenaline junkies. Black men are rehab. Yesterday I realized I no longer respected the cops. Inscribed with my blood, your badge reads G-O-D. Thou shalt not speak unless spoken to. Thou shalt put no other fear before blue. Judgment day is a repetitive purge where all of my people face the same fate. The almighty wrath of a pompous and pestilent deity raining down bullet barrages in the street. Your actions with those guns is blasphemy. No amount of brutality, tear gas, rubber bullets, nor tasers will stop this movement. We will not be silenced. Our voices are the ricochet echoes to the collective psyche of the masses. Our hearts the beating convictions of guilt. Tell me, would I be in the street screaming how much Black Lives Matter if I felt they did? My fist is not a symbol of insurgency, but the human manifestation of the rainbow. I promise I won't destroy the world. Just everyone who doesn't deem me part of it. Yesterday I realized why I no longer have belief in the cops. What evil is there to fear when law enforcement poses the biggest threat to my existence? Where streets become a graveyard, take a walk amongst the tombstones or the unattended bodies. Or the unattended bodies, where streets become a graveyard, take a walk amongst the tombstones or the unattended bodies. As Lady Justice begins to blur the lines between who is protected and who serves, I stay stagnant as a POW, a prisoner of what if, as in what if I don't make it home tonight. The malignant truth that shackles me down to the ground is not enough to keep me immobile. Add to this an iron collar with the steel that stole the soul of chain link gangs. The world dragging me down. A sadistic game to the majority of society, but I use it as a workout because I'm only getting stronger. So for every one of my brothers and sisters who succeed, all statistical misery is a shackle that breaks from me. So no, officer, I will not slow down. Your inability to keep up with our progress has not convinced me to let you catch up. Yesterday I realized why I should always profile the cops. Whereas the being himself is predictable, the capability he carries is fatal. In a world where I felt threatened is enough to justify the death of my brothers. The entirety of my people are guilty with no cause to be proven innocent. Answer me something, officer. Does my black offend you? When you look into my eyes, can you see the 400 years of futile attempts to bring me to my knees? The scars on my skin are what's left of the past, and my spirit would ever wound black bodies fashioned as bricks with our blood and cement, building pyramids and skyscrapers for which you stand on pedestal patriarchy. Please repeat your command. I can't seem to hear over the sound of penetrated flesh bouncing lifelessly on the ground. I can't breathe. Hands up. Don't shoot the remaining populations of black lives because you can't turn that gun on yourself. Turn that gun on yourself. Shoot and reload. The black body may be temporary, but the black soul is everlasting. The strength of the fallen will continue to accumulate in the hearts of the living. They are not forgotten. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. But there's one thing you're forgetting about me, officer. I won't give you the chance to take me dead.
That's good. My name is Prahlad. I'm going to utter these words in this breath in solidarity with all the black spirits, the ones who have come and gone, the ones who are in the body, and the ones who are yet to come. The poem is The Lynching. At first he just shook, and then he stayed still. At first there was so much pain that no one there and no one's sense would ever be without it. But then he felt the garden. He rolled torch after torch and lifted them to ancient urns, lifting the canyon. He lit them and watched them break the dark like bullets tear open flesh, and he ran not outward or away, but further down into the stamen. Past mother, past mama, past nana, clear as water, past eyeball moons and scorched skies, the sounds of liquids dripping from the walls, a fog through a valley of seeds pulsing like fat blue hearts, and the hummingbird ripping them open with its long, slender beak. There was nowhere else he could go. There was no heaven. There was nothing he could do. In fact, there was nothing solid, even as a dream. All just missing notes, suspended, tingling, like the lip of a marigold. There was not even a wall to echo a scream, or a mind to think the wail into being. There was just the body the fire couldn't touch, and the flowers turning emerald and bright yellow spatches, prismed water rushing splotches, bursting from a source touched previously only in scattered moments. A long night of hot embers, the roaring of the crowd, and then the rising of pre-dawn continents as cocoons and gardens, crickets, clouds, cowslips, and clover hummed.
Hello, everyone. My name is Treasure Shields Redmond. I am a black poet who will not remain silent while this nation murders black people. I have a right to be angry. Fannie Lou Hamer lived, died secure in the fact that she had led a revolt that we call the Civil Rights Movement. So these poems are 7-line poems, and I'm going to read 3 in quick succession. The first one is one I believe her mother would have written on her heart, and it's called October 16th, 1917, Montgomery County, Mississippi. Boss say I birthed 20 field hands, then gived me $50 for a fanny. Done promised this last one to God. Dream I gived her to the priest. Took her behind the Holy of Holies. Came out full grown and singing glory. Shook me woke, knowed I've been changed. I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. You know the
Angels in a heaven done sign my name.
Fannie Lou Hamer sang in between giving her testimony. And what she testified most was that she had been beaten. So this next to last one is about her testimony in the 1964 Democratic Convention, and it's called Jericho. President Johnson called me ignorant while he can't see what's wrong in Mississippi, then throw a party where half the children ain't invited. The words say my mansion is in heaven, but before I get there, we might march around Atlantic City 7 times, bring a White House tumbling down. And this final one is the one that probably most makes me think of young activists. Young activists know they're right, and we know they're right. But the culture talks back and says, no, you're communist. No, you're trying to mess up our good peace. No, you're trying, if you didn't mention racism, it wouldn't exist. You keep bringing it up. But you have to set your mind in order, as Fannie Lou Hamer would say. So this one is called Bound. My man Paps wants to save me up like change, but this thick black body is spent. Spare breast, spare kidney, fibrous womb taken full, I knowed it was gone. Lay down my burden, I'm riverside bound for the promised God. I would serve him till I die. And I promised him that I would serve him until I die. I am on the battlefield for my Lord. Thank you.